sky! Look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's...
SCP-4128. Original author, An Amazing Fantasy. Warning: the following file is level 3/4128 classified. Any attempt to access this file without level 3/4128 authorization will be logged and will lead to immediate disciplinary action. Item number: SCP-4128. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-4128 is to be held in a humanoid containment cell. The cell should be modified to fit the following specifications. Walls should be constructed using modular concrete panels, made from a specific proprietary blend of concrete and additives for extreme strength. Each individual panel should measure 30 cm in width. Additionally, it is advised that these panels be lined with polymer-based polyurethane padding with viscoelastic properties. A Class II Titan vault door is to be installed in replacement of a standard cell entryway. Standard ventilation is to be installed with a segregated gas supply system. In the event of a containment breach, the system will disperse a Class B sedative nerve agent. Transport teams of SCP-4128 should be equipped with aerosolized anesthetic. SCP-4128 is currently held within Site-88 on Floor 18. An on-site psychiatrist should conduct a full psychological evaluation check every 2 weeks. Description: SCP-4128 is a human male formerly known as Samson Satch. The entity claims to be 108 years old, despite appearance being that of middle age. Saliva-based testing has confirmed the genetic makeup to be of human origin. SCP-4128's most notable anomalous property is its incredible mark of strength and endurance. SCP-4128 is capable of lifting 3,500 kilograms with ease and shows great effort when lifting over 20,000 kilograms. Additionally, SCP-4128 can sprint at top of speed approximately 85 km an hour, as well as perform an 18-meter vertical leap. The epidermic cells of the entity are formed with a polymeric protein, giving it an innate ability to withstand extreme physical trauma. SCP-4128's bones are 8 times denser than that of the average human. Discovery: SCP-4128's existence was first discovered in 1975 through the Foundation's ASRP when correlating reports of a man performing incredible feats of strength came to light. The first confirmed instance by the Foundation occurred when the witness reported a semi-truck accident in Belgium. A woman reportedly lodged the front half of her car under a tractor trailer. While awaiting the first responders, a man approached the vehicle and proceeded to pull it out by the frame. A cover story disguised the incident as an instance of hysterical strength. Following this event, 48-year hunt for SCP-4128 ensued, before recovery on 2018 in Brooklyn, New York. This event is detailed in Recovery Incident Document 4128. A sample timeline of notable confirmed SCP-4128 activities, designated as LEs, limited edition events, are reported within Evidence Documentation 4128-LE-0138. Complete access to the full timeline must be approved by the current Site-88 Director, Dr. Philip Foster. Access granted. Limited Edition Event 04. Date: January 24th, 1978. Location: Goslar, Germany. Description: Police were surprised to find Francesca sitting outside the local police station. Upon initial questioning, it was discovered that she had been held captive by Daniel. Francesca claimed to have woken in the middle of the night, finding a strange man hovering over her. In her recollection of the escape, she remarked how she was chained to the wall of a basement and repeatedly staked how the man used no equipment, rather his hands, to break her free. Response: Class A amnestics were administered to all individuals involved. A falsified investigation was established as a catalyst of Francesca's rescue, with embedded Foundation personnel acting as correspondents to the report. Daniel was later taken into custody. Confiscated evidence: none. Limited edition event 10. Date August 31st, 1985. Location East Los Angeles, California. Description: authorities were alerted when a group of residents had successfully apprehended Richard Ramirez, a serial killer and a rapist who went under the alias of the Night Stalker. Upon arrival at Hollenbeck police station, Ramirez began ranting about a man with impenetrable skin. Detective George Thomas, a field agent for the Foundation, was present during this display and immediately contacted Mobile Task Force Iota 10, damn feds. Upon questioning by Agent Thomas, Ramirez recalled being followed by a man in red barn jacket before fleeing across Santa Ana Highway. Upon an attempt to carjack a woman, Ramirez noticed the man in close proximity and attempted to stab him with a kitchen knife obtained from an earlier raid. After the short chase, Ramirez was rendered unconscious, where then he awoke, surrounded by other bystanders who had joined the man. Response: MTF Iota 10 retrieved the knife before forensics arrived at the scene. A false transcription of the interrogation was released to the public. Due to the high-profile nature of Richard Ramirez, combination of Class G and Class C amnestics were used to ensure that any accounts of the incident would not leak to the press. Confiscated evidence: stainless steel kitchen knife, bent, retrieved on the Santa Ana Highway. Limited edition event 23. Date March 5th, 1990. Location Austin, Texas. Description: Foundation agents intercepted a call from a local reporter regarding the inexplainable placement of a Dodge Aries on the roof of an abandoned factory. 4 men were found to be trapped inside the car, visibly distressed. 3 of the men were armed with 9mm handguns, Remington 870 shotgun. A correlation was established when reports regarding a drive-by shooting on the nearby block came to light. Response: a videotape of SCP-4128 was confiscated by Foundation personnel. The reporter, who was the sole witness to the LE event, was administered a Class B amnestic after initial interrogation. The 4 men were apprehended by the Foundation operatives and subsequently incarcerated into D-Class personnel. Confiscated evidence: screen capture shows SCP-4128 in mid-jump. The entity has shown no flight capabilities. Limited edition event 30. Date April 28, 2000. Location The Bronx, New York. Description: 46th Precinct Police of Bronx received a call regarding a street fight. When police arrived at the scene, a man was found flying on the pavement unconscious. Upon admittance to the NYC hospital, X-rays revealed a complete fracture of the urinal shaft and a broken jaw. Witnesses identified the man as Jason, a local resident of an apartment complex in Unionport Road, who had been going around the complex with a gun to extort money from the residents. During one of these extortion raids, a witness reported seeing a man approach Jason, grabbing him by the arm. Jason proceeded to cry out in pain. The emergency calls were made shortly after. Response: Class A amnestics were administered to convince Jason of a prolonged engagement. Later court rulings found him guilty on the account of 3 separate charges. This use of excessive force was recorded as a notable escalation in an LE event. Recovery of SCP-4128 from here on was deemed a VIDAR-level priority. Confiscated evidence: X-ray of the fractured urinal shaft. Addendum 4128-A1. Genetic markers indicate that the myostatic relatin hypertrophy may be involved. However, this does not fully explain all reports regarding to the entity's feats, such as the ability to leap across vast distances. Note: if he were to have this condition, one would assume that SCP-4128 have immersed muscular proportions previously unseen in humanoid anatomy. However, I can find no physical difference between the entity and any other athlete. If we're being completely honest here, the guy has a bit of a fudge. Dr. Andrew Windstab. Addendum 4128-A2. In a recent checkup, it was discovered that SCP-4128 had gradually been losing hearing on its left ear due to extreme bone growth putting pressure in his cranial nerves. Request for a hearing aid is pending on approval. SCP-4128 has reportedly suffered minor seizures in the past. Researchers are required to provide immediate notice to medical staff should another lapse occur. Addendum 4128-B1. A series of interviews were conducted in order to uncover the origin of SCP-4128's anomalous properties and the motivation behind the entity's activities. The following are transcripts of video logs. Interview log 4128-R03. Access granted. Interviewed SCP-4128. Interviewer Dr. Robert Markstrom. Forward. Interview was approved after recent psychological consultation and evaluation deemed SCP-4128 mentally sound. The interview was conducted within observable chamber. The entity was restrained via handcuffs which were chained to a metal plate on the ground. 2 armed guards kept watch outside of the room, equipped with drawable canisters of nitrous oxide. Begin log. Hello, 4128. How are we feeling today? I'm sorry, could you say that one more time? How are you today? Are you feeling any better? Oh, yes. I'm doing okay, I suppose. It's a little jarring having, knocked me out that gas. I'm not going to hurt anyone. Security measures have to be taken. It's nothing personal. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Do you understand? Yes, I do. Good. Let's get started. When and where were you born? 1930. I lived on the outskirts of Glenville with my ma and pa, in Ohio that is. 4128. Can you tell me why we have no record of you or your family present at the time? Well, ma and pa weren't exactly legal. They also never left the farm much. Interesting. How did you attain your anomalous properties? Obtain? I suppose whenever I was conceived. My parents realized fast. They find things broken that shouldn't be. Ma nearly had a heart attack when she saw me pick up a recliner. She was always so patient. She'd broken more than one finger during that time. Can you recall the first time you purposely used your abilities on a human being? I understand why this topic can be difficult to discuss, but the more we uncover, the higher chances we have to find the way to suppress your abnormal conditions. Answer the question, please. I was 19 at the time. Whenever we needed new supplies for home, my parents would send me to town. Figured I could take care of myself, believe it or not. Ma needed me to pick fabrics at the haberdashery, a reputable place run by a gentleman and his family. He and one of his boys were working that night. I need you to keep going. What happened? 3 men came in. One fella stood perched by the door, really suspicious-like. I noticed one of them started shuffling some shirts into his coat. Everything tends to blur after that. I remember reaching for him when the Bruno the Roscoe. The bullet hit and I fell. When I got up, they were gone, the son included. Then I saw the old man lying on the floor. The shoplifter shot him too. No, they found out later that it was a heart attack that took his life. I assumed you chased after these men. Of course, I was. Well, it would be gracious to say I did it out of a sense of justice. I chased after them on foot since the kid took pa's truck. It was the first time I started using my getaway sticks to their potential. Couldn't stop myself correctly, but hey, I still managed to catch them on the outskirts. I was so careless then. Could you elaborate? I picked a tin can up and threw it. The haberdasher's son just parked the truck and watched. Did you dispose of the witness? Did I? God, no! After seeing... I don't think I'd ever thrown up that much. No, the rest of the night we just talked. It was the most damn thing, I tell ya. He asked questions and I gave some answers. He asked me where I came from. Know what I told him? An alien planet. The gullible jellybean nearly blew a wig. You let him free, knowing he could identify you. Well, he promised he wouldn't tell anyone. A sort of repayment for avenging his father, I suppose. You know what I've realized? That night was a damn warning. We'll wrap this up for today. 4128. Yes, Doc. Did you ever get his name? We'll need to run a background check for cautionary measures. Jerry was his name. Jerry Siegel. End log. Closing statement. After SCP-4128 was taken back into its cell, a background search was performed on Jerry Siegel. Findings led to his designation as POI-4128-A. Interview log 4128-RO4. Interviewed SCP-4128. Interviewer Dr. Robert Markstrom. Forward. Upon discovery of POI 4128-A, deceased, and the correlation between his works and SCP-4128, and another round of questioning was approved. Conditions of the previous interview were kept. Begin log. I'm going to ask you a series of questions and I need you to answer with a full, transparent honesty. Can you do that for me? Of course I can. Okay, good. To start off, can you fly? What? I'm not that I'm aware of. You already know that I can leap pretty well. Noted. Can you possess any forms of X-ray or heat vision? Oh, I see what this is about. I suppose you'll all put it together, right? Some regular private dicks, I'll tell ya. Excuse me? Oh, you mean detectives? Well, considering we found several of Siegel's works in your apartment, I must inquire about their validity. Are any of these stories true? Hate to disappoint, but no. Pretty much all of that is made up or exaggerated. Embellished to look pretty, you know. I figured as much. When did you realize that these graphic illustrations were about you? It was several years after the first one. Figured it was a funny coincidence. Till I did my research. Found out the writer was none other than that being. Did you confront him? No. Truth is, I sort of engrossed myself into this fantasy. Could you elaborate? You know what I majored in, Doc? Accounting. That prison was only slightly better than this place. More importantly, it wasn't my place, you understand. The occupation didn't matter. The income didn't matter. None of it did, as long as I could do this. Back to your post! He is not causing any harm. Apologies, please continue. Why God gave me these inflections, I couldn't understand. Was it luck? Then these stories pop up. He convinced me that I was part of something greater. Convinced me that I had a higher calling. The little grifter basically told me that I was a gift to the world. You're saying his works inspired you to take up these vigilante activities? To be honest, Doug, it was an overwhelmingly blissful choice. Scary at times. Finding your purpose always is. My first patrol ended with me hit by a truck, you believe that? But you can only see so much before... I witnessed some terrible things, Doctor. Let's not get off the topic. There are still more things I'd like to discuss. I just wanted to bring hope, you know. I never wanted to... You just lump them all together. The drug runners, the murderers, and rapists. You forget they're just people. And then you forget to control yourself. I'm supposed to be a hero, right? What kind of a hero would do the things I did? End log. Closing statement. Dr. Robert Markstrom requested continued psychological consultation for SCP-4128, along with prescribed antidepressants. Both requests were approved. Recovery Incident, Document 4128. Access granted. Limited Edition Event 38. Date 2018. Location Brooklyn, New York. Description: Foundation agents were alerted when SCP-4128 had reportedly turned himself in to the local authorities. An investigation revealed that SCP-4128 had followed David to his apartment with the intent to apprehend him. Upon breaking into the apartment, Klaus, David's 15-year-old son, proceeded to sneak up on the entity with a gun. SCP-4128 was reportedly startled and attacked the young man. An autopsy report showed that the chest wall was strongly crushed, and the side wall of the right ventricle was sandwiched between the costal cartilage and 7th thoracic vertebrae before it ruptured. Surgery revealed a large amount of coagulated blood in the pericardium. Response: Class A amnestics were administered to all individuals involved. Embedded Foundation agents implemented a cover investigation, which framed David as the murder suspect. David subsequently went to trial in the following month. SCP-4128 was recovered by MTF IOTA-10 without incident. Confiscated evidence. Transcript of initial interrogation, confiscated from the security camera feed. Interrogated SCP-4128. Interrogator, Lieutenant Jeremy. Forward. Upon SCP-4128 calling the authorities, dispatch transported the subject to Brooklyn's precinct. Lieutenant Jeremy conducted the following interrogation. Begin log. Look, we found no weapons on you. Nothing at the crime scene either, except for the gun the kid had. As far as I understand, no bullet wounds have been found on either. So how the hell did you cave that kid's guts in? God damn it! What the hell did you do to that kid? Yes. What? Speak up for Christ's sake! I punched him. You punched him! Jesus, you didn't even know when to stop! Just once. Really? How the fuck could one punch do that? I didn't watch myself. Dear God, I just watched him hold his kid. I couldn't save him. I couldn't. I'm a hero. I can't save them. End log. Closing statement. Lieutenant Jeremy was administered a Class A amnestic. The security footage was copied and the original expunged. After this, a raid on SCP-4128's local residential address was conducted. The following list details notable items taken from the previous residence of SCP-4128, along with items the subject had on itself at the time of recovery. Confiscated items. Copy of Action Comics number 1. Copy of Action Comics number 5. Copy of Action Comics 57. Copy of Action Comics 254. Copy of Man of Steel number 1. Flashlight. Red coat, new and Lingwood Whitby brand.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton. The Man of Steel. Superman. Possessing remarkable physical strength, Superman fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. Disguised as a mild-mannered newspaper reporter, Clark Kent.